Harjap Bhangal. Harjap Bhangal. You can. It depends on how Punjabi you want to go with his name, but this guy he's a man of the law. He's a legal representative, and he deals with immigration law. That's really what Harjap. If you don't know him, if you're not Desi and you don't know about Harjap, he is a legend in the community. He really is. And I promise I'm not using that word lightly. I'm not bandying around the term legend. He's known across generations. He's known by lots of different people, not only for giving advice on various TV shows, and he's popped up on loads of TV shows all over the years. I've been watching him for like 20 years. My mum and dad know him. My wife knows him. My in-laws know him. Everybody knows Harjap for immigration advice. But what he obviously does do, because he's bright and he's likable and he's funny, is he turns it all into a bit of a humorous story, and his kind of anecdotes are just brilliant. So I got to know him, obviously being on the radio and stuff. I got to know him and met him a few times over the years. And I just love him. Harjap's Harjap. You know, he's always going to be him. He's going to have that little cheeky glint in his eye. But what's so great is he's got some real advice to give and some real lessons of life that he wants to share. He's doing a charity event this weekend, which is why I wanted to get him on to talk about what that charity event is. So do listen out to the end. If you are anywhere around the Hitchin area, you can come along and support a wonderful cause that he's doing and a charity event that he's doing called Strictly Come Bhangra. But I had to talk to him about him, his approach to life, his new healthy regimes. We had a great chat, and he was really there for me at a tough time in my life. So here is the awesome and a really, truly good friend, Harjap Bhangal. Enjoy. That's it. We're recording. We're just so you know, it's officially live. That's it. Not live, you know, but you're on before you start kind of thinking that we're off air and you come out with some unofficial stuff that you don't want to say. I want you to know this is now being recorded. I feel like I'm in the legal one now. You're right. Oh, what's happened? He ran away.
Stronger connection.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hanji, puri tarah.
You want a stronger connection? Is that what it is? I thought we were fairly connected anyway.
We are, but kade bitch na taar toot jandi hai.
Hey, all right, okay. but so we need a Tara Singh to rejoin us. So
or a Bijli Kaur.
Bijli Kaur, either one. We know you're right. It's 2021, Tommy. Get with the times. It's not
That's it, man. That's it. Equality.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, bro. How are you? You okay?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good. Really well. There's certain voices when I hear them, I'm grinning now. Do you know? I'm grinning because it's you. And you know, in a way, I shouldn't be, because you're a man of the law. You know, you should strike kind of fear and intimidation. I should be on my best behavior. But I suppose I'm grinning because it's you, and you know that you are. You are of the people in every way. I think everything about you is I'm the average banda and Buddhi's banda. You are, don't you? And you like that.
I think that's a great compliment. And yeah, to be fair, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with being from the people. I've never aimed to go too high. I don't have any pretensions. I know where I come from. Yeah, I actually love my days when I was struggling, and I struggle every day. I'm a normal guy. I live in a 3-bedroom house with my mum and dad, 6 of us. So, you know, that's it. And despite what people think, I don't have mansions or villas or anything like this. I'm just a happy guy, man.
But can I clarify that? But you could.
I could.
You could, right?
Yes,
but
I could.
But
I've had opportunities.
I mean, and actually, I was talking to Shin from DCS about this on the podcast, and we were saying about how it's in Punjabi culture particularly, and actually Desi Asian culture in general, like aspire, achieve, big house, big car, you know, fancy this, fancy that, you know, watches. We want all those things. Sometimes we put too much pressure on us to get those things. But why is it that you have gone, nope, that's okay. I don't need that. I don't want that. I'm happy to be in my 3-bedroom house with my mum and dad.
Yeah, it's just the way I've been raised. Look, the thing is, I'm a working class person, despite where I've got to. Yeah, I'm from the hood. I'm from Essex. Yeah, I grew up in like Romford, Dagenham, these areas which are hardcore racist areas. I grew up in. Yeah,
and as you know, that's up the road from me. So I'm in East London. I was born in East Ham, Goodmays, Ilford. So I know exactly what you mean.
Right. So in our village of Rainham, when we had to get atta, we had to go Ilford Lane. And you know how far Rainham is just to get atta.
30, 40 minutes? 30, 40 minutes?
Because all we had were about 10, 15 Punjabi families in Rainham. So I grew up in that. In my whole secondary school, I was the only Asian in my whole secondary school. So when I came to areas like Handsworth and like Southall, and I didn't see any white kids in the school, and I got a bit scared, and I was like, "Where the gore, man? And my wife goes, no, this is the school. And I said, no, we're the teachers. We're the white teachers. And they go, no, even the teachers are Asian here. I'm like, okay, this is a different type of hood that I've come from. And so, so I've just gone from one hood, which is a fully Gora hood, to which is like a bend. And now I live like in Heston, Hounslow, Southall. But for me, I'm happy. I want to be where my community is. I want to be where the facilities are. I want to be around them shops and, them facilities and a Gurdwara nearby and all the Ronka and all that. I like that. I see people who live out in the sticks, like, in the Garrett's Cross and in the Solihull's and all that sort of area. And, and they don't want to associate themselves. Oh, no, Garrett's Cross isn't Slough. I said, but you got an SL postcode. Yeah. No. And your phone number starts with 01753, which is Slough. No, Solihull. No, it's not Birmingham, but you got a Birmingham postcode. And, and your phone number starts with 0121. No. So we are snobs as an Asian community. We believe in snobbery. We believe in doing, not just here, but even in India, we do the same. So when I go to Mumbai and Delhi a lot, I see the social snobbery a lot, and people try to climb. We're ladder climbers. I'm happy, man. I'm happy with my ladder. I'm happy climbing. I've got all the things as well that you've said, the suits and the watches, and I wear Savile Row suits and I wear top watches and all that. I wear them on occasions. Now, if someone says, Harjap, are you going to sit at your desk wearing a Rolex? And I said, why would I do that? I bang my hand against the desk about 20 times a day and it's scratch lag jayegi, meri jaan nikal jani hai. I said, I know where my Rolex is. It's in the safe, mate. It's in the safe where everyone else's Asian jewelry is. So,
don't tell no one that. No, there's no safe.
No, kuch nahi. HMRC, kuch nahi. Oh, sare tax dete ho. Right. So so that's it for me. That's the sort of aim, to be realistic, down to earth. I have the best time of my life sitting on uncle and auntie and gossiping away and having a chat. That's how I was brought up.
See, that's a real natural contempt. That's not you saying, no, I did that other thing. I did all the highlight, and now I've chosen you. You've been like this ever since I've kind of known you. I've known of you for about 20, and I've known of you for about 20 odd years. When you pop up on shows and stuff, and then it was nice to meet you. And then I go back. I tell my mum and dad, oh, I met Harjap Bhangra, and they all know who you are. But you're one of very few people outside of, say, music, TV, or even like me, presenter. And I know you present as well and things like that. But what you know what I mean. But you have a different job. But you're one of very few people who have a profession, who are known across generations in our community, and really, everyone speaks highly. You're trusted, you're liked, you're found funny. They want to know what Harjap's going to say. He's going to slightly stir the kadashi. He might make you laugh, or actually he might come out with a bit of bloody insight and actually some real advice that is beneficial. Like, what are you?
I think I ask myself sometimes, what am I? Am I a love doctor? Because that's what people seem to think I am. Am I a marriage counselor? That's what people seem to think I am. Am I a career advisor? That's what people seem to think I am. It's like, that program where Better Call Saul. And it's like, and it's like Breaking Bad. It's like Better Call Harjap. Anyone's in any sort of trouble or got any doubt, and they ask me. And like half the time, it's not even about a subject in which I'm well versed. So like, it's not even immigration related or immigration law related. It's like, you know what, I've got a problem. Let's see what Harjap's take on it. Because I think they know that I can give them a straight up, honest opinion. And I always give advice as if I'm thinking, right, if I was in that man's shoes, what would I want? I would want someone to tell me the truth so I can plan my life and not just spin me a load of web of lies. And so it makes things complicated. And, I've got a lot of respect I'm very blessed like that. I can walk into a wedding hall and all the uncles and aunties will say, oh, mera pota aa gaya, mera pota. I can't sometimes comprehend that myself. People I've never met. And they're like, we know you. And they'll talk to me as if like they're my chachi. And like Saki Chachi, even my Saki Chachi don't even talk to me like that. Right? So they talk to me like, and they'll ask me, and they know my kids' names. And I'm like, oh my God, they know a lot about me. It's because I share my whole life with everyone, my whole experiences, the good and the bad. And I'm out there on social media. But obviously I didn't intend to do that. It's just something sort of like cult viewing. Yeah. And that's sort of way it is. And I always say, you know what, for me, that's my real success. So well, I have sometimes people who I meet who are very, very famous. They know who I am, but they try and give it the big one and try and make a sly remark like, oh, right, who are you? Oh, what do you do? And all that. And I said, oh, okay. You know, my reply is, I'll ask your mum and dad who I am. And I said, oh, your mum and dad know who I am, but my mum and dad don't know who you are. And until my mum and dad know who you are, you're not on my level, mate.
But see, and that's the funny thing about you.
Yeah, when I get retorts, and then, you know, obviously I'm not one to sit there and take it. So,
but and also and on that social media thing, again, you know, I'm told by people around me, you need to do more on social media. And I'm like, oh, I just find it so exhausting and taking so much time. But yet you've always done it. But it's weird with you. I really do think you do social media in a community sense. You were like, listen, I need to tell you this. Listen, this is what happened with me and my kids. This one with me and health. This one with me and I'm telling you this because everybody, you need to know this. So there's a real community spirit in you, which I think whether you were in the legal profession or not, whether you were trying to help people with immigration matters or not, I think you'd be that guy. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I sort of I don't mean to do this, but it's just that I feel, look, if something bad's happened to me, and I can, with my sharing my knowledge, whether it's immigration law, whether it's regarding a passport, whether it's regarding my health, whether it's regarding I got scammed on the phone, if it's, or, you know, if any way I can prevent it happening to others, surely that's a good thing. A lot of people don't share their knowledge. They keep things secret. In our community, you know how it is. If someone has a secret to success, then they'll never share it. But with us, with me, I've always thought, you know what? I'll share everything, whether it's the good and the bad, and then at least the person is informed to make a decision. Tommy, my catchphrase is this: it doesn't matter what the question is. The answer is always education. I'm a big, firm believer in education. Yeah, why do people end up in the mess in immigration law or in legal messes? It's because they always say, our community say, "Sanu pata nahi si, sanu kanoon da nahi si pata." We didn't know. We're not educated enough. We come from a farming, rural background. We didn't even finish school. So I'm like, all right, well, if I'm blessed with an education, or if I'm blessed with knowledge, or if I can go out and find that knowledge, all I have to do is translate it for the community who have got a ready-made audience. And that's exactly what I do. And, you know, whether it's being stuck in India during the times of COVID, whether it's about this new law being run by Priti Patel, where they're going to send me and you back to Pagwara, despite being born and bred here, you know, or whether it's about having a heart attack, which I had and lived through, and whether you get chest pains, I just want to share that and put that out there so I can help as many other people as I can. You know, I wouldn't say I'm a do-gooder. Yeah, I'm not that at all. Yeah, but if you have information, if something had happened to you, Tommy, and you thought I could prevent this happening to others, wouldn't you want to tell that to people? And that's I use that social media as a tool to connect with people.
Absolutely. But there's also, okay, firstly, how is your health before I get into my next question?
I'm much better. I pretty much saved, you know, people's blessings. But luckily, I went to the hospital in time and they did the right tests, and I had a double bypass. And I think it's very important to say, all I felt during that whole time when I was having a heart attack was indigestion. The day before, while I was having my heart attack, before I went to hospital, I'd done a 5K run. I went to the gym, done a 5K run, went to sauna and steam. It just felt as if, you know, you did that khana bayan on your chest. And that's happened to me a million times. But that Thursday morning, Mum said, you still got that pain in your chest? And I said, yeah, a little bit. She goes, why don't you go, your Thursday is my day off. So I say, why don't you do the school run and then go to hospital? It's probably Cully. I walked into hospital, no one at A&E for the first time in my life. I've been to hospitals all around the country, but I've always seen, there's always one bunda sitting in A&E, Duki. But no, not even there. Took me straight through. Did an ECG. Nothing came on that. They go, yeah, it probably is gas. But because you've said chest pain, we've got to do the blood tests. After that, it all kicked off. And like these doctors were talking to each other, and they mentioned a word called troponin. And I didn't know what that was, so I Googled it, laying down on my bed, and it says enzyme released when your heart's under attack. And it was in the thousands. It's only supposed to be 14. So they said, yours is about 9,000, 10,000. And they said, look, you better call who you want. Literally, it was like that, Tommy. You better call who you want. We're taking you in for surgery now. And I'm like, what do you mean call what I want? I came in for gas. And now you're telling me I need to call who I want and say my byes. So I call my dad, I call my wife. My mum had to look after my 1-year-old because my kids were 6 and 1 at the time. Sorry, 6 and 1. My little one was at home. Cushy was at school, so I couldn't see her. I had to WhatsApp my mum before going in the operation theatre, and that was the most awkward conversation I've had in my life, which didn't involve a single word. I looked at her, and she looked at her, and we both started crying, and we cried for about 10 minutes. And I can never describe that experience apart from that was a mixture of pain and regret. From mum's side, it was like, look at my boy, and next thing I know, they put me under. Lucky I woke up, mate. And
Jeez.
that was it. And when I was looking all around me, when I woke up, it was all 60 and 70-year-olds. And I was 44 at the time. And they were looking at me going, what the hell are you doing here? And I sat down for the next 10 days thinking the exact same thing. Hence, I did the video from that on the hospital bed. And I told everyone, look, this has happened to me. We've got to change our lifestyles. We've got to change our cultures. We can't be pub heroes anymore. We can't go eating out every day. You've got to get your exercise. Just look at me. Look at the state I've been. And that was at a time when I was looking after myself because I was going gym regularly. Imagine what had happened if they said if you come in the next 12 hours, you would have been collapsed in the street. So that's what. So when they say that, then that just changes your whole aspect. And I thought, I don't want anyone to go through that. I don't want anyone to die leaving little kids there. I don't want anyone's kids to grow up thinking my dad died and then
something could have been done.
Yeah, it's not thinkable for me. Yeah, it's terrible.
No, but can I just say, on a not weird, because I know you probably believe something similar, spiritual level, religious level, karma level, your mum called that, bruv. Your mum said, go to the doctors. What's that about? What? Have you analysed that? Have you thought about the fact that your mum said that?
The only thing I can think of is, 1, I was destined to live longer. 2, I was supposed to go into hospital that day. And 3, that's a maternal instinct kicking in. When children are far away, so say like we've been far away, and maybe we've been upset, and out of the blue, we've got a call from our mum. And she said that she's just sensed something might be wrong. That's happened to me a couple of times. That is a maternal instinct. As dads, we can't equate with that. I'm always arguing with my wife about this. I'm always saying the kids are always loving you more than they love me. They hug you 20 times in the morning. I don't get one hug a week. Yeah, I get called like all sorts of names by my kids, and they say, no, you can't say anything to your mum, to our mum, right? Not like that. And then so I'm like, well, where's the equality in that? We both produce this kid. Yeah, I want 50% of the love, but I'm not getting it. I only feel about 10%, and you getting 90% of it. So I have
You're such a lawyer. You're such a lawyer sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if you get that. I have that argument as well, but I have it every day. I had it the other day, and then my wife just says, "How can you compete with a mother's love?"
Yeah,
and she said, "You just can't compete with it." And I was in pain the other day, 2 days ago. I pulled my thigh muscle, and all I wanted was my mum. And then my wife pointed out, she goes, "Why do you want your mum? Why don't you go up to your dad and say you want your dad?" And I looked at my dad and I thought, yeah, you know what? I've just zoned you out like I get zoned out. And you can't compete with this maternal instinct. And I think that's what it is, the maternal instinct. All the mums out there will feel it. You know, and I know when mums go, "Main tenu 9 mahine andar rakha, tu masi jammya, tu 18 ghante lage to come out, tu meri bus karati," and all that. And like he's sitting there, right? And then as a dad, and we've both probably been at births of our kids, yeah. Compared to our wives, we didn't really do much, really.
No, bro.
Yeah, I remember I bought some Lucozade for my wife, and I drank it myself. She got so upset she threw the empty bottle at my head during labour.
What you said?
Yeah. She would. That was mine, and like bang, bang. I just saw this empty bottle. Right.
It's like in the whole tarka, we came along, just put a bit of lawn in, and went, "I helped make that," and they're like,
"Yeah." So no, this is mine. This is mine.
Yeah, but I put the lawn in.
She goes, "Hold on, you didn't do anything." Yeah. Well, so it's like that guy who does a lawn.
Yeah, Salt Bay. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, your baby bay. That's what you do. That's all it is. So what have you changed then? When you say since then, so you're saying, in terms of diet, food, because like you said, you're already training and stuff.
Yeah. I've just done more of the same of what I was already on, really. So diet, training. So I'm type 2 diabetic, less sugar intake, less carb intake. Just trying to do that. Less alcohol. So just sort of doing that, changing a type of alcohol, fizzy drinks, try and cut that out, drink water instead. There you go. So all of that sort of stuff really, and just to trying to get my steps in. I don't wear Rolexes anymore. I wear a Fitbit. So I get my 10,000. This is the watch that's going to save your life. Right. So
I agree.
I always say that, look, it tells you, it encourages you to go. I have competitions with others. It's really good. It's like a sort of community. I wish I'd done this earlier, bro.
I'm the same. Yeah. And actually, I think a few things have to come together. Like the watch was a big deal for me as well, actually, a couple of years ago. I've given up booze now. I've said it before. It's been nearly 2 years. Not a drop. Totally.
Not even a beer.
Not even beer. Nothing. Really? I accidentally had a sip of someone's drink because I even said, is that the mocktail? Is that the mocktail on the Bondi? It was only in Dubai, just gone a few weeks ago. He went, yep, that's the mocktail one. Are you sure? Because even I looked at the alcoholic version of the Mahit and I went, and my one looked nicer, basically. The non-alcoholic ones never look as good. They don't make as much of an effort with the mocktails, right? And I went, are you sure? Because this one looks all snazzy jazzy with the mint and the pate coming out and all that. And that one looks a bit average. And he went, no, 100. I drank it and I tasted it straight away. But that was it. Like things like that, I've accidentally, I went, no, wrong way around. But other than that, I have not had a drink. I've not had a glass of anything.
What made you give up?
Okay, well, I was going to touch on this because you said about people coming to you for advice. I came to you for advice to deal with all my legal stuff, and my legal stuff, by the way, is still bubbling along. I've not even said that on any other podcast other than this one right now with you. But in the early days when I had all my stuff with the BBC, I came to you, I rung you just for I went, bruv, just help me get my head around this. And it was more, it wasn't really for legal advice. It's like, what have I missed there? Because I really feel like I've not done anything. But I won't go into that now because I want to have that chat with you in a few months' time, hopefully, Harjap.
You done what the uncle and aunties
exactly.
Let's call Harjap and find out the basics.
And it was more like a sounding board because I wanted someone just to kind of go, even if someone like you would go, Tom, you've messed up, right? Or Tom, you should have done it. And I've gone, but Harj this, Harj that, and you gave me your advice. But we'll come to that another time. So I was going through all of that stuff and felt this injustice, whatever, in my life, and I was losing a lot of sleep over it as well. And then and I just found the drink, it didn't have the same effect. I was a happy drunk, and I was a happy drunk when I was drinking, still a happy guy. But the hangovers were worse. The hangovers, Sorge ke pagal honde, all that kind. And I was like, I started analyzing it more, but in a negative. I couldn't see positive solutions. So it was a little bit of that, a little bit of healthy kind of, and then actually I stopped drinking I think I got COVID early, like at the start of 2020. And I got onto antibiotics. I was like, ooh, antibiotics, not drunk for a week. And then I went, and then it didn't really do much because obviously it was COVID and I didn't realize. And had it for a second week. I went, 2 weeks. And someone went, can you do a month? And I did. And I lost about 0.5 stone. I was like, huh? And then over the kind of course of the next sort of 6, 7, 8 months, I lost about 2 stone in total. And I was like, forget that. I don't miss it anymore. And I'm too vain. I'm too vain to go back to it. So now I never say never. I might have a drink at some point in the future. But at the moment, it didn't work for me. It wasn't working for the hangovers. It wasn't working for the head. And this is exactly why I kind of want to start this podcast. To talk about things like this with the people like you who will openly talk about it and go, this is what it is. We're not all perfect. And everyone sees me like they see you as, he's a strong bunda. He's going to be fine. He'll be all right. But you're not.
No. We go through exactly the same that everyone else goes through. And like alcohol is a depressant. So when I used to when I'd have a heavy one, the next couple of days I was out of it. And then I used to get the bad thoughts as well. And I used to go down that road that you went down, I can't see a way out. Everything's going bad for me. Right. And everything, despite having everything, you still feel something's missing. And that's actually, it just inflates all your problems that you think you have and creates new ones that you think you have. And then, I just, for me, with the drink now, I'll still have a drink. Yeah. But I don't go out every week to have a drink. And I don't sit there every Friday having a drink. I'll drink now on an occasion. I know my limits. Yeah. So even if I'm out of my limits, I know there's someone with me now who look after me. I'm always with somebody. That for me, it's, I'm not one to preach to anyone about giving up alcohol because I haven't given it up, right? But for me, it's if it doesn't suit you, don't do it, man.
You got to call it. You got to call it.
You've got to call it.
Yeah, and that's kind of come back to the preachy point. That's what I was going to make earlier when I asked about your health is you say, you know, you go online, you do this stuff and you share things. The reason why I don't go online and keep going on about, like, I want to say to people, I almost feel like I found something like a miracle cure. I'm like, seriously, particularly us Punjabi people, I'm like, the booze is a bad thing. I feel like saying an hour thinking of, when I see all this kind of, I got this, 25-year-old bottle of this and that, and I'm like, we work so hard to make money and we talk about that success and all that. And you want to blow it on money or birds or drugs or high life or, and I'm like, it don't make no sense. You're going against everything that we are, but I don't want to preach. And you just said it just then. So how do you draw that balance? And I'm asking this as a genuine question because I want to talk about some stuff, but I don't want to be that guy like, oh, shut up, man, just because you've given up booze and you change it. I work out every day, right? Every day I do something, even if it's just 20, 30 minutes, I'll do something. But I don't want to be that, like when you're not working out and when you are going through depression and that banda's all like, hey, this is the way to be. You're like, bugger off, mate. You don't want to hear it. And when I was going through it, I didn't want to hear positive. I just felt crap. So I didn't want to hear from the. So how'd you get that balance right? I know. Where do you stand on that?
I'm not sure how I got that balance right? So I think I just put myself out there and said, this is what I am. Yeah. I'm not one to tell you what to do, because don't do what I do, because look at the state and problems that I'm in. Yeah. Right. I'm in a hospital bed. I'm the last person to tell you what you don't do what I do. But I've learned these things. If you want to apply them in your life, it might do you some good. Yeah. There's no harm in trying to apply them in your life. Yeah. If that doesn't work for you, try something else. But this is what I do. Yeah. And that in itself isn't preachy. Yeah. That's just telling someone, this is how I live my daily life. Yeah. That I'm just a normal person like you. I've got my things. I get up go to work. I do the school runs. My kids go to the same school as your kids. They don't go private school. They don't go Eton and stuff like this, like people think they do. They go to a local school here. Yeah. I went to local schools there. So it's like, you just got to say, look, this is what it is. And there's a lot of myths because we're in the public eye. So there are a lot of myths about you. There's a lot of myths about me. Yeah. There's a lot of myths about people that we have mutual friends in. Yeah. Like artists and singers, and people have preconceived misconceptions. That is always going to happen. We can't control that. But what we can do is someone sits down with us and then, I don't have any airs and graces, just like you don't. So like if people come up to me, I have a lot of random people coming up to me and I've never turn them away, never say no. I sit down there, I spend my time. So look, if me spending 5 minutes because someone makes someone happy, so what else do I need out of that? Yeah. So the other thing is, that we just got to tell them, look, we're just normal. We've been through the bad, Tommy.
That's it.
We've been through, God knows I have, and God knows you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Just because we haven't put it out there, or it's not a voyeur glass for somebody, right? It doesn't mean we haven't done it. But I've to see, and I look, this is my normal day. And I put that out on Facebook the other day, and I said, look, just like you lot get it. And I had 100 people saying, yeah, you know what, this is it. You're right. We get that as well now. And I said, look, I'm getting old now. I'm 46, and I look at people like you, people like Suki, Bart as well. They're quite, you're quite physically fit and fit, younger sort of boys, as I call them. But you're around about my age, and I think, damn, man. And I'm thinking, are they naturally like that? And then it must be something, right? I try and convince myself that you are naturally like that and you don't do anything towards it. Then I sit down and slap myself and say, Harjap, listen to your own advice. You don't get anything without working to it. So he must have a routine. They must watch their diet. They must get up and exercise every day. They do all of the things that you don't. So you can't get there. I can't look like Tommy Sandhu and his six pack and all that, right? If I don't do the things that Tommy Sandhu do.
But that's exactly it. But then again, it's that whole thing of I like to put kind of fun, good stuff out there. I want to put my silly stuff, my fun side, and actually it's my wife who will say things like, no, you should tell people, like I train every day. I have one proper meal a day. Other than that, I have little like smaller meals. I've basically 1.5, maybe 2 meals a day. I don't even tell my mum that, because if I tell my mum that, she's going to tell me off. I get
that all the time.
I'll still get, and that's the trick. And even my wife will be like, "Oh, you haven't eaten yet," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm all right. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not hungry. I'll eat at about 12." And I'm like, oh my God, you skipped breakfast. And then I do post a picture. Like I was just about to post a picture of, I made keema yesterday. So I was like, I got my keema, I got my giant naan from the local Turkish shop, got my pot of dahi, and I got my mum's cabbage sabji that she made. I went around, picked it up, like jack, and I smashed that meal yesterday, and it's huge. So, and I had someone come up to me and say, at a comedy night, and say, I see all you posted pictures of food, but yet there's nothing to you. And I'm like, yeah, but I probably don't eat that all the time. But that's what I mean. You've got to work yourself out, and you've got to work out how much you can eat, how much you can drink, and all of that. But it feels like you found your balance now. You're getting it. You've got it.
I'm getting there. I still like to lose a bit more weight. So I'll be honest with that. But other than that, I'm quite content in life. Because you know why? I'll tell you why, mate. When I was on that operating table and they were about to put me unconscious, and they'd said, right, you've seen your loved ones now. So don't worry, you'll wake up. And I was like, yeah, I hope I do, mate. At that time, yeah, I tell you something, mate. I had a vision, and I don't believe in any of this sort of stuff. Yeah, I don't believe any of this. I'm a very down to earth, sort of realistic, sort of
pragmatic. Yeah,
right. I had been to a funeral a year before of our friend DJ Gerbs, who was in his 30s. Yeah, I saw him in that funeral coffin, yeah. And I saw that, and I went to his house before. I saw his mum there. I saw his family. I saw his kid sitting in the back garden. It was only about 4, I think. Probably the kid was 4 or 5. Bro, he was eating a Happy Meal on his own, and his dad had just passed away. That stuck with me for life. And when I was on the operating table, I had a vision of his funeral, but in the coffin was me. My wife was standing there in black, and so were my kids, and they were standing there crying. And that was me. And my view at that point, my only quish was I didn't remember how many cars I had, how many houses I had, how many watches I had. Yeah, I couldn't care less. The only wish was that let me see the sunrise tomorrow. That's all I wanted there. That's all I wanted at that time when they put me under. I don't remember anything after that. And I woke up and I opened my eyes, mate, and I thanked God. And I thought, you know what? All I kept on thinking was, Meri family role jani. All I thought was my family is going to be devastated. My 1-year-old doesn't even know how to say dad. He doesn't even know I am his dad. He's going to grow up without a dad. Yeah. My 6-year-old, 7-year-old daughter. Yeah. Women alone in this world, a family alone in this world. This world is going to pick them off, hunt them down. They're going to think, oh, Harjap must have left loads for them. Let's pick them off. Yeah. Right. I thought about my elderly parents who are hitting their 80s now. Yeah. And that who's going to be there for them? Yeah. And like, I should be there for them. And here's my dad standing next to me saying, don't worry, bud. And my dad was consoling me. Like he came to my side. And then I thought, I'll always be a kid for them. And then, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have your family. The only thing that Tommy that was there, everything had been taken away from me. I didn't care about this phone. Yeah, this is a phone. You've probably got yours there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We lose this for a couple of hours, banda dukhi ho janda.
Yeah,
it's right. It's like losing a kid, almost. Yeah, right.
You need it like a limb. It's part of you.
Yeah, right. I didn't care about my phone, my iPad, my passwords, anything like that. My WhatsApp, what I got on my photo gallery, nothing like that. All I was like, at that stage, I had nothing. All I had was my family. And when I woke up from that, I take that with me every day. Every day I go to work, I think about that. While I'm here now, I think about that. I don't sweat the small stuff anymore, Tommy. I don't sweat that stuff. It's my family that matters for me. As long as they're there for me, I'm there for me. I'm all right. I don't need a golden spoon. I can be the richest man in the world and I won't have nothing. Bob Marley said something. And you're probably going to think, "Enu kidda pata Bob Marley da." Manu pata bani. I'll be honest, I don't. But I just read a quote once, yeah. So I'm not really a sort of English music sort of guy. But
Jamaican,
yeah. Well, chalo, gonda ta Angrezi ji si, right. So, but he said some people are so poor, all they've got is money.
Wow. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, and how true is that of our people? How true is that of the people, wasting their life away? But interestingly, if you don't mind, I'm going to slightly play devil's advocate with you here with putting this question to you. in that time when your life was potentially up, your numbers up, right?
Yep. Yep.
You and I'm not trying to make you out to be a saint or anything like that now.
No, no, not at all.
Hey, Harjap. But what I'm going to say is, in that time, it's funny. What you worried about was your mum and dad and your daughter, your kids and your missus, right?
Yeah.
Which worries me still, because that right there is the pressure that I think a lot of men are under, with the need to provide, support, be there for, be the tough guy. And even in that final moment, you didn't go, holy crap, I'm going to die, or I might die. You went, holy crap, I'm still needed for these people because I've got a job to do here. And I think it's that job to do there that causes the drink, the depression, the this. And so much of it comes down to money. So much of it is the reason why more men commit suicide than women and things like that. And I know men are at the fault of so many things in society. I know we're wrong-uns in so many ways.
We are.
But in that moment, you're still a victim of the pressures of being a bunda. Do you see what I mean by that?
And that, my friend, is going to stay with you for life, because that's part and parcel of being a son. It's part and parcel of being a brother. It's part and parcel of being a parent. It's part and parcel of being a grandchild. That we have certain responsibilities. Yeah. And that's the thing. We can't shy away from our responsibilities, but we can learn to live with them. We can learn to live with them. We can develop our coping mechanisms with them. We can learn to coexist and share them responsibilities. We're not a one-man machine. Our shoulders aren't broad enough, bro, to take our family's burdens on. We're not made for that. We try and do that. When you try and, like a machine, when you try and force a machine to do something it's not designed to do, or load jada padan, that's when something goes. At the gym, you're a gym guy. I chuck 400 kilograms on a leg press machine. Of course your knee's going to pop out. It's not designed. You have to build yourself up. One day you might get there if you do leg press every day and increase your weight, and if you do it correctly. That's the key. That's our mental machine. We have to condition that to deal with these problems. And like I said, I've learned something else. Yeah. If I ask a normal person or a normal guy, let's just talk a bunda, what will you do for your kids? The first thing he will say, I'll die for my kids. I'll take a bullet for my kids. Yeah. Yeah. Then I say to him, bro, what are they going to gain from your death? Why don't you try living for your kids? Yeah. Why don't you try and get fitter, get healthier, live long, stop the booze? Right. I'm not saying stop the booze, but stop the binge drinking, stop the tar that we used to do on a Friday. Chuck a glassy, knock a bottle in 20 minutes. That is not healthy for anyone, bro. Right. The lamb curries every night, the eating out every night. Yeah, we know the pub heroes do it. And then the lack of exercise. But you can't be, if you're going to work on a building site and come out every day. If you're going to sit behind a desk like I do, I don't need 5 naans in the evening, bro, and a lamb curry, a jar protein in the morning with date all in a day. I don't need to intake 4,000 or 5,000 calories. So now my line is, I wouldn't die for my kids. I want to live for them. I want to live for my family. I want to see my daughter get married. I'm 46. My daughter's 9. I've got a 4-year-old, Tommy. If my kid does what I did and got married at 28, I've at least got to live another 24 years. Right? That for me, I've got to hit 70 with heart disease, with type 2 diabetes, just to see my son get married. Otherwise, forget the grandkids. Forget grandkids. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Now, I always talk to my son. He doesn't understand. But I always say, son, you better get married when you're about 18, because I'm not turning up to 28 when you're wedding at 28, age 70, like with a walking cane, and people go, who's that? Your granddad? And you'll have to say, nah, that's my dad.
so like you get all these documentaries about teenage pregnancies. You're there going, come on, get someone pregnant. Settle down at 16.
Girlfriend.
Yeah,
Come on, you're in the 5th year now. Come on,
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And again, my Logan and my youngest is 4, going to be 5 in a couple of weeks. So similar thing. Milo's 9. And I think my dad got married, he was 30 when he had me. So he's here and he sees the grandkids and all that. And I'm like, I think of the same numbers. I think, man. And actually, I want to add that to it. Actually, I forgot to mention that. I also stopped the booze, and I wanted to stop the booze. I carried on with not drinking because I thought, I've got to break the cycle. the booze is the biggest factor that so many people in my family have lost money. That's probably the reason why they made money, because they're party goers, they're big personalities, and they're those kind of they have a drink, go into a meeting, they bish bash bosh, go here, let's do a property deal. They're all lads, and they've got this amazing kind of nature and big character about them. Everyone loves them, but then that beast gets hold of them, and the health and the pot bellies and the livers and all the rest of it, and then the mind goes and they get dark, and the humor's not as funny and jovial, and now it's a bit twisted and a bit evil, and you see them mold, and then they're getting a bit aggressive, then they're a bit twitchy, then they're a bit paranoid, and all that stuff. And I'm like, it's brought down these great people. And I'm like, I got 2 boys. What leg do I have to stand on if I say to them, hey, palagi pot, drink's bad for you, if I don't lead by example? So I'm like, well, screw it, I've got to go. Well, I don't drink. I said to my son the other day, I said, I don't drink. And he went, but there's beer in the house. I went, yeah, but when have you seen me have it? And he don't remember it because he's 9 and I've not drunk for a couple of years. So he's like, yeah, you haven't. I went, it's a poison. I said, it might make you feel good. It's like sugar. I said, but you get a come down and then you want more of it. And then you get sick. And I went, but look, I said, I might have a drink at your wedding. And he goes, I'm not having a drink at my wedding. He goes, only fruit juices. I went, yeah, flipping up.
Wait till you're married, bro. You should say to him, wait till you're married, you'll be drinking for a long time.
Yeah, you're gonna numb the pain.
Deal with that.
No.
Yeah. And listen, say, you know that booze at home.
It's true. And now my cupboard's packed, and I'm like, it is for prawn. It's for other people. So I'm like, all right, getting other people smashed, but not doing it myself. Yeah. But okay, talking about doing good for others. This weekend, what are you doing? What's happening? Because I wanted to come down. I'm actually hosting another charity night on Saturday, so I can't come to yours. But where are you on Saturday night this weekend? Saturday, what's the date going to be? 5th?
Saturday it's the 1st now, so it'll be, I think it's the 4th, isn't it? 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Saturday the 4th of December. Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in Hitchin at Kingshot School, and we're doing a Strictly Come Bhangra competition.
Hey! Come on.
And Tommy, sadly, that jitte tu nahi ja sakda, ya or Nihao doesn't turn up, otte mainu sad lande. I'm like the Z lister. When the A listers can't get up, it's dial a job. So yeah, it's strictly Come Bhangra competition, and I'm going to go across. I've never been to Hitchin before, or Letchworth. I know so many people from there. So they're always saying pop down. Like a lot of auntie, uncles, band, bras who watch the TV show, they're always like come down to Hitchin, and well known in Hitchin apparently. Yeah, and so
you well known everywhere.
But so I'm gonna go there early. I'm gonna look at this competition, and it's good. We're raising money for Garden Home Hospice, and it's basically an organisation which helps people who aren't well, people who are, whether you're suffering from mental health illness, or whether you need to be inpatient for those who are terminally ill. So it's providing care, including online classes, physical care, assistance, everything that you need when you're hospitalized or not hospitalized. So it's literally a one-stop shop for anybody who needs care, whether it's the elderly, like me and you are going to be at our kids' weddings, or whether it's you're young and you're suffering from an illness, whether you're recovering from something, whether you feel down. It's all free. They provide all their services for free, walk-in services. They've got a unit as well where they've got 8 beds, and so they do great work. And these sort of organizations, they need our help. They need funding. They need our help. So we're raising money for them. So Suki, who's arranged all of this, has decided to call me down. We've got a lot of people from different ages. The Hitchin Massive going to show me their Bhangra moves. Lovely. And we're going to have a look, and I'm going to decide who's going to win. So brown envelopes are accepted because we're Asian.
It's fine, and for charity, so brown envelopes are definitely accepted. Just keep sending them in.
Bro, Christmas is coming. I've got 2 kids. I got 2 kids to feed.
You're talking about your own personal bribes. I thought you meant brown envelopes for the charity.
Mate, you Asian. You don't win anything unless what's in it for me, bro.
Are you on the judging panel, or are you leading the dancing?
I am on the judging panel, and might get to do my moves. You might remember a few years ago I did Strictly Come Dancing for a charity, for a unique home for girls. So I do a lot of organization as an ambassador for that and as a champion for that. So children's charities especially, and charities for the elderly are my favorite. I try and do as much as I can for various charities, but I learned how to ballroom dance. It's a bit different from Bhangra, but
Yeah.
yeah. And
What's your Bhangra game like?
you
What's your
get
Bhangra like? Are you any good?
depends on the partner, bro. In ballroom dancing, you get a much fitter partner. You get like a nice, female. In Bhangra, it's always some shrubby. Right, mate. On the bag, I did a Bhangra penalty.
I just pictured the TV show version. If it was actually Strictly Come Bhangra, like that's what it'd be like. Right. Next up, the boys will be performing the leg in the middle dance as they go round and round. It's like that's
the
the
leg
move.
sponsored by Johnny Walker.
Yeah, everything is Johnny Walker or some shoe company because you just kind of all got your foot out there. So what do you want? We want people to kind of come down. They can come watch it.
Yeah. We want people to come down. We want people to try and go online, donate. Anyone in Hitchin and Letchworth, or surrounding areas like Northampton, Milton Keynes, Bedford is nearby. By all means, come down on the 4th. I think it's a nominal amount for a ticket, but go and have some fun. And not only that, but we'll sit down and I'll do a little Q&A with people. And I'll meet everyone, and we'll have a chat just about life or about whatever, or even if you want some immigration advice. But if you think I'm going to, in 15 minutes by the end of the night, call your mum with them over from Jalandhar, I don't think that's happening. But still,
people say it's better. Quick thing before you go. Then, you ever done stand up, and would you want to?
I would love to, Tommy.
Would you?
I would love to. A lot of people say to me, why don't you do stand up? And I said, well, on Friday night I do sit down. And I prefer it, and I do that comedy, sit down like that, sitting down in front of a TV. But yeah, I'd love to do stand-up. My stand-up would be based on my real life stories that I hear every day.
Exactly. Well, that's the best stand-up. I still say I don't do stand-up. I host the stand-up nights, and I just tell a few little stories of things that have actually kind of happened or based on, wives and not wives, my one wife, but wives' stories around my wife and uncles and various things like that. So that's kind of, and I think that's the best one. I think I can totally see you doing it. All right, leave that with me. I think I'm gonna get you onto a comedy night.
I think I just want to say a message to your wife. Etto bach ke ring bya karaunu firda dekhe de muh nikal gaya wives da dekha en shrab shroop tai chhadiya aur tai smart smoot honu firda hai enu aj kebab koob khala enu mere arga bana.
No, stop. Because actually, it's not. I'm not really about. My wife knows what I'm like, but my in-laws and all of their family absolutely adore you. They're the ones. It's my father-in-law that forwards me on all your videos. Have you seen this? You see what I'm doing? I'm like, oh my god. So actually, he'll be listening, and that's it. He'll be like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna have to sort Tommy out and tie his feet together or something.
That's it.
Listen, I thank you for being a good friend first and foremost, because you have been to me, and you were there.
Always here, bro.
Bruv, I can say it now, having only really just 4 years later got myself out of a dark period. You were there for me many times, and I'm sorry I didn't reciprocate that because I was still sorting my own head out in many ways, and I wasn't there for you. But I appreciate you so much. I really do. You were sound, because I needed that sound advice. I needed that truth, and I really do appreciate that at the time when you were there for me. So thank you. Keep smiling, keep laughing. Yeah, but let's do a comedy night soon. All right.
Listen, I'd love to do it, and if you could bring me into that, I'd love. You know what? I'd love to give it a crack, and especially to an Asian audience.
No, it will be. It will be. I won't get you in some hardcore, Liverpudlian or Irish crowd. They're the toughest.
We can do that as well, mate. I'm an Essex boy. Yeah. I can switch from a, Dave to Devinder, no problem.
Fine. I knew you could. I bet you've got both passports, because if anyone has, it's you. So
world passport.
Okay, globally accepted. Thank you, Harjap Bhangal. Thank you for your time, bro.
Thank you, Tommy.
All the best,
bro.
I heard, genuinely, this is just as a fact, I heard that if you hit subscribe to this podcast now, if you have subscribed on Apple or on Spotify or on JioSaavn or wherever you are listening right now, if you are subscribing and getting that on a regular, which means you get the little notification when the new episode comes out. Fact. This is a fact. Don't tell no one else's. If you hit subscribe, you can eat as many jalebis as you want and you will never put on weight. I know. I don't understand the logic. It makes no sense to me. I mean, how's a podcast relate to the DNA way in which your body breaks down jalebi sugar stuff running through your... I don't understand, but what I do know, it's a little cheat to life. So if you like jalebis, then you should hit subscribe to this podcast. Oh, and follow us on social media too. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow us. Eat jalebis. Be happy.